There we go. Oh my gosh. You want some appetite for destruction?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Roodimentary podcast. This is episode 9. That's right, one away from something you never thought would happen, double-digit episodes. But you're welcome, because on the Roodimentary podcast, we take the basic things and make them difficult to understand. As always, I am joined by my host, Andy. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys? How's everything going?
It's good. It's good. It's really fun to be here. We're through 8 full episodes and 9.
Yeah.
We've made some changes. We've got some thumbnails, so we're almost a professionally done show. Funkel over there on the west side. How are things, bud?
Yo. Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you sound.
I can hear
excited.
you guys.
This is going to be great.
Okay, I'm excited.
Why would he want to hear us? But he's excited to be here.
I'm just happy to be here. Good Lord willing, things will work out.
Okay.
As they always do.
Okay.
So we are on episode 9, like I said. That's 9. We're going to kick it off with the prevalent topic around the world, and that is the Olympics, because the U.S. are like gold. The U.S. leading the way in overall medals and also in gold medal count over China. Some highlights from the recent today, actually. The women's 4x100 team won the gold. The men did not place in the 4x100. More shocking to you guys, Andy, we'll start with you. More shocking, the women who were the bright point of the 4x100 was Sha'Carri Richardson. She turned on the jets to help secure the gold. Or is it more shocking that the men didn't even place? Now, the highlight of the men's story was that they had a 16-year-old on the 4x100 team. But Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was a bad baton pass, wasn't it?
Yep.
I mean, that can happen. That's just it doesn't speak to. But it's one and done in the Olympics. You don't. That's part of it, right? I mean, you can't pin it on anything. There's nobody else to blame. I mean, that's fundamental right there, and mistakes can happen to the best teams out there. It's a shame that it happened, but it did. As far as the women, Sha'Carri Richardson, it's a disappointing Olympics for her.
Oh,
it really is. She's her gold medals in a team event, and she should have had the gold in the women's single event, and she didn't. So, it's disappointing. There's no other way to put it. People spin it otherwise. There's nobody that didn't expect her to win the singles.
Wow. What about the people in St. Lucia?
Oh, it's great for them. The young lady that won it for them was humble when she did it. Had that look of these Olympic champions that we're used to seeing, to where it means everything to them. Sha'Carri Richardson's made a career of making faces at the finish line, and making it, look at me, all about her posing and stuff as she's crossing the finish line. I didn't see that from the St. Lucia runner when she won. It was just pure unadulterated joy. Again, Sha'Carri Richardson at the end of this race looked over at the camera as she's crossing the finish line in a team event, making it all about her. And I'm glad she lost the singles.
never one to shy away from telling us how he really feels. We're going to go to the other side. Funkel, more headline news. The U.S. women winning the 4x100 gold, or the men not placing at all?
I would say the men not placing at all. That's usually a race that they dominate in. Am I wrong in that? Don't they usually?
Yeah, them
No?
and Jamaica. Those are usually, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And that's surprising not to hear their names or the national anthem being played when they step up to get their medals. So that was really surprising to me.
All right.
Agreed.
I agree. Being the host of this podcast, it's a great honor, a great privilege for me. But more importantly, it allows me to bring up, certain topics that that really are pressing and that make headlines, and they should make headlines. The U.S. men's basketball team battles back from 17 down to Serbia, led by all universe basketball player, 3-time MVP in 4 years, Nikola Jokic. U.S. battled back, and I think obviously a great game by both teams, but more importantly, and I want to start with Andy again. Let's focus on what the big news of this was, and that was King James having only the fourth triple double in Olympic history. He also has another one. So 2 out of the 4 triple doubles in Olympic men's basketball history are held by none other than the King himself. He's ready to talk. Andy, take it away. Let's praise King James.
Yeah, hats off to him. He can set it right next to that bronze medal he won a few years back. So, LeBron James, I'm completely tired of this guy. I want him and his son to go play ball and retire together. I'm tired of everything LeBron James. And the only thing I want to ever hear his name about again is when they pop him for PED usage. So that's what I have to say about King James. I've been reading some stuff. I've been taking a page out of here's our weekly Ort mention on the show. And I've been looking into things. I've been doing some research, and the size of LeBron's head, figuratively and literally, is bigger now over the years. It's kind of that entering that Barry Bonds thing. The charts they showed Barry Bonds when he came into the league, and then it's your head isn't supposed to grow as you age. This guy's on the juice.
Apparently,
allegedly. Allegedly.
There it is. Breaking news, everyone, from Andy over there. But that's right. Apparently, Snates, if we start recording a little bit later than normal, Andy comes out firing. This is a new Andy, but men's basketball team.
You're hitting my wheelhouse.
It's not a new Andy. I think you know that. It's not a new Andy. This is Andy. This is
world to see. This
well, you know him as Andy. I know him as Rude, and this is Rude.
Funkel, your take on the men's U.S. basketball team. They will play for gold, and I tell you what, give me your thoughts on that, coming from 17 down, and U.S. men's basketball versus the world now.
Oh, I think this rivals the Miracle on Ice, coming back from 17 down like that.
Great.
What was the team they were playing?
Russia, and they were playing Serbia. The men's basketball team was playing Serbia.
See? Yeah. I mean, what a miracle. Good for them. Yeah, and now they're going for gold. It's the same storyline, right? They didn't play for gold then, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
they face.
History repeats itself. Am I right?
I couldn't have said it better myself, friend. That is a brilliant take. Before we jump off the podium of the Olympics, this basketball gold means a lot to me because, Andy, regardless, it feels to me, regardless of who wins the gold medal, I win. And the fans of the Rudimentary podcast win because it will be either King James winning or it will be a team from a small country named France that wins the men's basketball gold medal. Final
Well,
take. I'm going to send it over to you.
Me?
Yes.
All right. Here's where I am on this. I went out in anticipation of this, and you're going to be shocked to know that I am France all the way on this. I went out and bought their national flag to celebrate.
Oh,
Why?
God.
So France all the way.
Oh, no.
Wow.
So,
Is he celebrating, or
France.
is he? Are you celebrating, or are you just throwing in a towel right now?
France.
Okay. All right. Viva la France.
We.
Oui. Ooh la la.
There's nothing left to say.
Nope.
No.
We're moving on to a sport that the U.S. should continue to dominate professional if they ever bring professionals, if it's an international game for years and years to come. Are you ready for some football, folks? Hank Williams, I don't know if he's still ready for football, but we'll find out. Football's back, baby. The Hall of Fame game, which pretty much means literally nothing. It's except for the guys that get to play in it, because it's usually guys that won't make from the cuts from 90 down to 53. So they get to be on TV. They get to play during the Hall of Fame ceremonies at Canton. So it is fun for those guys. But you didn't see Caleb Williams. You didn't see CJ Stroud. It was the Bears versus the Texans. You did see Caleb Williams in his full Bears get up. So that was good. There were talks that he wouldn't even suit up. So you got to see Caleb Williams. The game was shortened. Yeah, that's right. It was a football game that got called because of
Didn't matter.
Okay. Okay.
a football game that got called because of weather. So remember, we're down to 3 preseason games. Andy, you've had your say. You've started out on fire. Funkle, the Hall of Fame game, 1, did you watch any of it? But 2, would you? Like, are you a fan of these guys that may never make the team? Do you like the idea, since it's 90 players now instead of 70, 73, do you like the idea of those guys getting their playtime in week 1 and not seeing any of the normal guys that you would see on a regular Sunday?
Yeah, I like the idea behind that. I mean, it doesn't count. We're talking about practice, right? Talking about practice? Yeah. So this is just a preseason game. Yeah. So the worst thing you could have is one of your locked in big contract players get injured and something like that. So no, I don't have any problems with that. And for them to be able to get some of that national TV time, good on them for something like that. Did I watch? No, I just found out about it with you explaining it to me. So I am not reeled into the football yet. So Hank Williams Jr. did not reel me in, and I am not ready for football.
Andy, as a huge Bears fan who is probably more excited about Caleb Williams' first game than he was about Jordan's comeback, what 1, did you watch it? And 2, your thoughts on the Hall of Fame game?
No,
not a chance he watched it.
No, did not watch. Knew that Caleb Williams would not be out there. It's like Jake said, it's good for those guys, but they have as much in common with playing in the NFL as I do, and that's 0 games. So, it is what it is. They got a nice story to tell their grandkids, and their grandkids will brag them up, and the other kids will tell them that their grandpa never played in a real game. So, aside from that, Yeah, Hall of Fame game.
All right. Speaking of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I do want to make note that last episode and this episode vastly different. We had over an hour before the mention of our good friend Ort. This one was 7 minutes and 51 seconds before he was brought up. I don't know about you guys, but we've talked a little bit more and more since football's back about the elephant in the room, and that is that's Canton. That's Football Hall of Fame. And why do we do that? Because our diehard buddy, our diehard Cowboys, bleed blue, love the Cowboys, hate everything else, is on the verge of probably one of the most epic moments in our friendships that we have had. The day that Eli Manning gets announced as a Hall of Famer is the day that Josh Ort buys an Eli Manning jersey and has to wear it to Canton for the induction ceremony. That has been something we've been looking forward to for a long time because he tried to say, but you got to give it to him. He stuck to his guns.
No, I won't. I will not give it to him.
Yeah, we don't need to give it to him.
No.
Eli is not a Hall of Famer according to Ort, but according to Ort, it doesn't really hold water. It's according to the voters, and they are going to vote him in. Funkel, you actually made a very, very good comment. You would think the rational person would understand it in a text message. Remember a few days ago, Funkel, he sent a text. 25% of people on Facebook don't think that Eli's a Hall of Famer. And you responded how?
That means 75% do. Simple math.
Shocking.
I responded, be no math.
How could he screw that up? Yeah, he's a betting man. If I gave him 75% chance that something's going to happen, I think he would take those odds.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this betting man doesn't want to bet on that horse.
Nope.
We should whip him. Whip him.
Oh man. Andy, the Eli Manning Hall of Fame. How are you feeling on that? Are you looking to it with more excitement or less excitement than Caleb Williams' first start for the future Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears?
Oh, Eli's induction, hands down. 100%. And not because I'm an Eli guy, but because I can't wait for this. I can't wait to see how this guy's going to try and weasel out of this, but it's not happening. Eli's going in, and we're going in on Ort.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The amount of pictures that will be taken, selfies, Snakes, is this worthy of a special trip from the West Coast for you?
I'm definitely going to put my best effort for sure to do something like that, to see something like that happen. I was with him before when he had to pay up on a bet that he lost. Do you guys remember that when he had to go?
Oh, I remember it.
I remember it. You got the picture.
Yep. A nice pink bedazzled Bears shirt.
Oh, it is beautiful, and that was a time when Ort was still like in the 100-pound region, but now I think about an extra large is going to be a little snug.
Yeah, well, I kind of like the baby doll look of that tee. So but as far as I'm concerned, he never wore it into Lambeau, so he still hadn't paid that bet.
I know nothing about that. There's picture proof.
There's picture proof in the parking lot.
Oh shit!
I know he didn't wear it into Lambeau because he came back.
Well, you didn't know that from me. I've never said anything about that. I did what I
know
did.
it. I know it.
Book it.
Key grip.
And you want your next.
Yes.
Football. Hey, football's happening. I'm excited. We're excited. that football's back. Some of us obviously are bigger fans than others. But yeah, the Hall of Fame game always kicks it off. There's a lot of storylines for this upcoming season. More pressing, we joked about Caleb Williams. But yeah, there's so many things going on. It's going to be an exciting football season, to say the least. We transition from football to another sport that we love. It's baseball. It's like
Yeah.
baseball, but in unique locations. This topic was actually brought up to us by Funkel, so I'm going to go ahead and just toss you this.
I see what you did there. Yep.
Yep.
Well, thank you, and I'll catch it. I'm not typically a catcher, but I will in this case. Yeah, I see that look from you, Rude. I was all conference catcher, so yes, that's accurate. But
Okay.
I know
That's what I thought.
I know our audience,
All conference.
and so I'm covering my bases.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, I brought it up because it's a pretty relevant thing where the MLB announced its schedule for next year, and the Chicago Cubs are playing the Los Angeles Dodgers in Tokyo for the opening day, which used to be held by the Cincinnati Red Stockings.
Yeah.
But that has gone away for a few years now. But I thought it was interesting because it will be in Tokyo, and this might be the first time that we have a game in Tokyo, and the two starting pitchers are potentially Japanese born starting pitchers. And on top of that, it could even be Otani as the starting pitcher, which is exciting because he had the Tommy John surgery. He might be coming off another MVP year. So it'd be pretty exciting for his first game to be in front of a home audience, like a literal home audience. So that would be fantastic to see something like that.
That just thinking about that, and the Hall of Famer that Otani is, it makes me wonder if Andy,
That's right.
do you think Otani will be a Hall of Famer?
No.
Would you be
No,
willing
what?
to make a bet where
Here
if
we
you
go.
lose, you wear an Otani jersey to the induction ceremony?
Hey, yes, yes.
Hey, if he goes on this pace, obviously he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, I'm tired of the pitching hitting gimmick.
Gimmick.
Yeah,
It's not a
gimmick.
gimmick.
It's a gimmick.
Is hiring a 4'9" guy because he has a small strike zone and getting him to walk every time by Bill Veeck. That's a gimmick. What he's doing right now is not a gimmick. He could be the best pitcher if he wanted to be. He could be the best hitter.
Except
And
his
he's shown
elbow's
that
blown
this
up
year.
and he's not pitching anything.
If that happens, but until then, why would you be preventative against something until it happens?
Well, like right now, he can't pitch.
He sure can hit though.
Yeah, he can hit.
No,
That's why I said if he goes on this pace, yeah, but the
Yep.
pitching is 100%. I heard show can hit 100% as a hitter. But I mean, that's just it. He's paid this exorbitant amount of money, and good for him. I'm all for players
Right.
getting theirs, and if
Yep.
somebody's going to pay him, pay him.
Yep.
I like the way he plays. He plays hard.
Yeah.
My favorite Japanese player is always going to be Ichiro, though, because that dude was next level for me.
Hit machine, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and would have owned the hitting records. How many years did he play in Japan before he came over?
7.
That's
7.
crazy.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
nuts.
He came over as a 27-year-old pro and still got 3,000 hits
Crazy.
for the MLB.
Dude, he
Yeah.
could have had 200 hits those other 7 seasons.
Here's the interesting fact about Ichiro. After his third at bat, he never dipped below 300 his entire career.
Crazy. That's one of those ridiculous stats.
It's unbelievable.
Yep, Suzuki.
Yeah, that guy was incredible. And from what I hear, that dude, if he went, Yeah, raise our glasses to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
From what I hear, he was hitting bombs in batting practice. He could do that if he wanted to,
Yes, that's what
but
I heard that story.
yeah, he chose to be a hit machine,
Yep.
and yeah, more power to him.
Yep.
Came
Love
out
that guy.
like 10 years after being retired, throws like 85-mile-an-hour first pitch.
Yeah. Yep. Love that dude. That dude played
Yeah,
hard, man.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Otani's playing hard too, man,
Yeah,
and his
no, he
body might
is.
not be able
He
to hold
is.
up.
He
So
is.
keep if he can hit like this
Oh, yeah.
during active recovery right now,
Yeah.
why not try to get pitching as well?
I don't know. It just seems like it, he can help his team by doing what he's doing. He comes back after a second Tommy John. I mean, what's your value at that? Nobody has any. There's been one guy who's made a start after 2 Tommy Johns. I believe I looked that up. So
No, I think that's less accurate now because there
or
have been more and
or
more
has a winning
guys.
record after 2 Tommy Johns. I'll look it up.
Might be. Okay.
To be continued on next show. I'll have the answer.
Okay.
think-
But
Uh,
the first person to have a Tommy John surgery in the Hall of Fame was not by a pitcher. It was by Paul Molitor.
Whoa.
He had Tommy John surgery, and he's in the Hall of Fame. He was the first one who ever had that corrective surgery that was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
We are
So-
getting all kinds of knowledge.
Yeah.
But Tommy John should be in the Hall of Fame. We call it the Tommy John surgery.
Nobody has more surgeries to his name or credit given to his name than that, right?
Yeah,
People are
and the
having
dude's
that
not
surgery
in.
preemptively.
I'll just go
Right?
ahead and get another way now. Yes.
Yeah.
Tommy John.
To Tommy. God, damn it. I got nothing to drink.
Snake,
No
you brought
champagne.
up the Ichiro. He could hit bombs if he wanted to. There's a story of Ty Cobb saying basically the same thing. He was talking to the press, I think in a doubleheader where they were facing the Yankees, and he was getting asked a lot of Babe Ruth questions. He basically said something to the effect of anybody can do that. And he went out, and between the 2 games, I think he had 4 home runs that day. But yeah, he wanted to hit. Hitting was an art. And this is a stat meme that may or may not be true. I didn't have time to verify it, but we're going to say it is. Okay. This meme is MLB hits by members of the 3,000 hit club at through age 26. Number one, of course, Ty Cobb, not Pete Rose. Ty Cobb had 1,600 hits by the age of 26.
Wow.
Pete Rose only had 899. So the hit leader only had 899. We had Wade Boggs only had 531 hits by the age of 26. He was the second least amount of hits. And then number 30 on the list, there's 30 players in the Hall of Fame with 3,000 hits. Number 30, Ichiro had 0 hits.
Exactly.
Through age 26.
Exactly. Yeah,
Ichiro.
they didn't count him. He did in Japan. He had 1,000 hits there. So
ridiculous.
But also, I saw a comparison between Pete Rose and Derek Jeter at the age of, I think, 37, and they're nearly identical. And Derek Jeter decided to retire, and Pete Rose decided to continue playing, and he became the hit leader when he was in his 40s and managing a team. I mean, that dude had a lot going on towards the end of his career. So
you can bet on it.
Yeah. Well, if that dude would be in the Hall of Fame by now if he would have apologized for the things that he did and came clean with it. But he never has. He's never owned it. He's always been big-headed about it, and they've carried out the power of Bart Giamatti, father of Paul Giamatti's, and wanted to honor that lifetime ban, because he is not remorseful and doesn't want to change anything about it.
Sticking to your guns, both sides.
Yep.
Yeah. Old Pete, 24 years in the majors, and still batted 303.
Wow.
So yeah, dropped off towards the end, but that tells you how, that, and if Pete wouldn't have been a baseball player, my dad always said that who knows what happened to him because he was dumber than a box of rocks, except in baseball.
Well,
except in
sounds
baseball.
like
he knew how to play.
Like he had a gambling career ahead of him. Right now, he'd be doing pretty well for himself with all the online betting.
Yeah.
He's in heaven. Pete Rose fan. I grew up, love Charlie Hustle. But just like you guys both mentioned, Ichiro's stats, it's just ridiculous how good he was. And I remember an interview where Pete Rose, was a little concerned about Derek Jeter. He said something to the effect of, "There's a guy playing over there in New York that if he keeps on going, I might have to make a few calls." But yeah,
well, calls were completed.
Yep.
He's out. He said he's out.
That's it, folks. Done.
Yeah.
It's you get baseball in Japan. You see what it means to that country already. You got a lot of former major leaguers that are already, that go over there to play in the twilight of their career. Or some that, have had a cup of coffee in the majors and go over there. So that should be a very, very interesting game. A side note to that, also another interesting game for next year is the Reds Braves will be played at Bristol Motor Speedway. So that's a very cool location to have a game. And hey, baseball is going to different places.
That's how baseball started, right? They were barnstorming all over the country, just picking up games wherever they could.
Exactly. And that's what makes it fun, just seeing the different unique places. Field of Dreams has games.
I love that Field of Dreams thing, man. That was incredible.
Loved it.
I would have loved to have seen that continue on.
Yes. We're going to continue on with the Pondering Peeps Draft. This is a recurring topic on the show where Snakes comes up with a great thought-provoking question, but we've actually gone with a fun, still thought-provoking, but fun because of a little stipulation that he put on the question. So this week's 3-round Pondering Peeps Draft is, what's your go-to movie snack? Even if you bought it at the theater, or some of you people may or may not do this, shame on you, or if you snuck it in yourselves. Funkel, as always, who starts us off?
Trav, I know you're a candy man, so I'd love to hear your take on what you're muling into the theater.
All right. So my number one overall pick, I would take the obvious one because I do love the obvious one, but I'm going to leave that for you guys. For me, it was Sour Patch Kids. And of course, when I was going to the movie theaters, if I was going with friends, I worked at McDonald's at Southtown Mall. I didn't have that kind of, I didn't have movie theater candy kind of money. I didn't have that money. So Sour Patch Kids may or may not have been snuck in to movie theaters. It was Sour Patch Kids because I loved them from the first time I had them. I still love them to this day. And yeah, I will keep eating Sour Patch Kids at movie theaters, regardless of how they get there. There we go. Sour Patch Kids.
That's a great pick.
Number one.
That's not high. That's not high. That's low.
Yeah.
That's how they got in there.
You know how they got that in here, right? That takes one of my pick. You sniped me on that one.
Oh,
I love those things. Yeah.
Yes.
Rude, you're up, buddy.
All right. I don't remember where I heard about this, but once I tried it, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Popcorn with snow caps.
Snow
Oh.
caps.
Snow caps, the little candy coated chocolate chips.
Yep, like
You know, the,
sprinkle.
like, the
Yeah.
little white sprinkle type stuff. You throw
Okay.
them on hot popcorn and they melt. And so you have like
Oh,
chocolate coated popcorn. Fantastic.
oh man, little globs in there.
Yeah, a little bit. You just got to have your napkins, your wet wipes. Don't forget your
You
wet
got-
wipes.
You got your process.
You do. It works best in a Dune popcorn bucket.
Wow, this
So I've heard.
is specific. Now we're
and current.
Snakes. We're over to you for pitch number 3 of the first round and 1
Okay.
of the second round.
All right. Since I got the old turnaround, the Tulsa turnaround, I'll go with I've go to the theater so often that I'm pretty brazen these days. So, so big boy over here is getting me an Impossible Burger and rolling in with an Impossible Burger, and then
You're bringing a meal to the theater?
I'm just bringing a whole meal. This is LA, baby. Yep, I'm bringing it in my bag. I got me a Lululemon bag. It looks like I went shopping. It's at a mall. Nobody questions anything. I said,
But
I
everybody
don't get any
knows.
fries. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crossing the line.
Yes, but I justify it by still getting the popcorn and the soda. So I'm still giving house money, right?
Okay.
But I'm just bringing it because they don't have the option for me.
Right.
They don't have the Impossible
If they
Burger
had the
there.
burger, you'd buy it there.
Right.
No, but I appreciate.
As far as they know.
Yeah, you're right. That's correct. But
Yes.
I appreciate you thinking that highly of me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, an Impossible Burger out there in LA has to be what, $15?
Yep.
Yep. There you
And
go.
that's not theater prices.
No. So it'd be like 28, right?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Impossible is one that I bring in there. But I haven't been able to do this because my dietary restrictions, but I used to love getting some Reese's Pieces and throwing it into the popcorn. Now it's not going to melt like that, but it is going to give you a little extra something, and you might get ET if you're not careful. So definitely be careful. Don't leave them on the way out to the car or anything. You might have somebody coming along.
Yep.
I don't want that.
Absolutely.
So that's what I got.
All right. Round 2, pit 2, Andy.
All right. Staying with the popcorn theme.
Oh,
Chicago mix.
Oh, nice. That's really
Chicago
nice.
mix, baby.
Yep.
Got that cheese, got that caramel corn.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Yeah.
Obviously brought at the theater. Or are you like Snakes? Are you got your Lululemon bag and you got cheddar and caramel in your Lululemon
So before at Carmike, the theater that used to be up there on DuPont.
Yep, they definitely had the Chicago mix.
They had the Chicago mix. They had this whole thing. It was a production. It was like on the second story above the concession stand. They had this the popcorn machine up there and this like vat that they would mix this stuff in because you could get different flavors. You could get chocolate popcorn, you get candy coated popcorn, and they would dump it down the vat into the containers down below. Yeah, Chicago mix though. Chicago mix popcorn.
Yeah.
All right. Our buddy Ort loved going to that theater after work with his refillable popcorn bucket, not going to see a movie, just walking in there, getting his popcorn.
Yep.
And back. Yep. Brilliant move. For me, same with popcorn theme, because I would do Sour Patch Kids and popcorn. I'm just weird. Peanut M&Ms. Just dump them in the popcorn. And my favorite type of M&M. And the M&Ms, again, now maybe I'll buy them there if I want to impress my wife. But I don't. So yeah, they're being that's all there is. Peanut M&Ms. That's my.
It's almost like it's almost like a plinko game when you throw those in there. They're a little heavy. They're just like and they go straight down almost. You gotta be careful.
And then I will start and round 3 and finish my picks with it's a newer candy. Now this one not necessarily mixed in the popcorn because it'd be weird to mix it in. Sweet Tarts ropes. They're the chewy gummy ropes.
Mhm.
Love those. There's a new watermelon berry flavor out there. But yeah, I love those. The problem is when you sneak them in, the package is huge. And so, I usually tell Beth to put it in her purse. Always the easiest way to get snacks in, throw it in her purse and just get there. Or when Kenzie was younger, I'd make her the mule and just say, you carry these in
Don't
your
say it like that. Call
in
your
your
daughter
bag.
a mule.
You started it.
I know, but I didn't call my daughter a mule.
Carry these in your backpack.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, now it's Beth, and luckily she has pretty much a purse. It's might as well be a suitcase.
Yeah.
So that's the end of mine movie snacks in my draft. Andy, to wrap yours up.
Oh,
Wrap it up.
the world's cheapest nachos. So the bag of nacho chips with a hot, I don't even know if it's real nacho cheese, with a side of pickled jalapeno slices.
Yes,
Oh man.
Oh yeah, yep.
in
A
that little
go-to.
Jeez.
You gotta ration the cheese, so you don't end up with a bunch of chips at the end. You dip it. You get one of the little jalapenos. You throw it on there. All about proportions, and that is, it's heaven. I love it.
Is that like a walking taco kind of thing?
So
Or
it's like the nachos you would have gotten like school.
Okay.
So it's like
Oh,
a
yeah,
plastic tray, taco chips, and then the little spot at the end of the tray with hot cheese in it. You
Yep.
dip them
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there. There's no meat. There's no vegetables. It's that processed, whatever that
Yeah.
cheese is, and pickled
Yep.
jalapenos. Book
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, I think you had that as Star is Born, and I looked over at you. I was like,
Oh yeah,
who is
I
this
did.
guy?
There's no doubt. I probably did. Yeah, 100%.
They had the round tortilla
Yes.
chips like
Yeah.
from like the old El Paso in
Yeah.
the aluminum
Yeah.
All
foil
coming back.
box.
Yep.
It's all
Gaga
coming.
and nachos. Star is Born. Book it.
this guy was like, everybody else shut up. Gaga and nachos.
Yep.
That's all I need. All I need. Wrap it up.
Okay.
Last one.
Here it
baby.
is.
A last one for me. I'm bringing in, this is a relatively new one for me. And it's red vines, but using the red vines as a straw with your
Yeah.
cherry Coke.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh my
This
god,
guy.
it is fantastic. So you cherry on cherry crime, more like cherry and cherry dessert. What a treat! My goodness, it is so
What a
good. So if
treat.
you can't get enough cherry, and obviously I can't,
no.
It's
Who
amazing.
can?
so I try to get that fill of
Yeah.
the red vine and the cherry Coke, and sometimes if I'm feeling a little frisky, I'll go cherry vanilla Coke. Oh,
Whoa.
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 it's
Settle
getting
down.
crazy in here.
Settle down.
Yep.
Because then I got a cherry on cherry crime, and then I have a vanilla on vanilla crime, and
Mm-mm.
I'm the vanilla.
Mm-mm. So
Cut it out. Just
does the vine that you're using, does that soften up in the soda when you're, or does it maintain integrity?
It maintains integrity, and sometimes, not always, but sometimes if it's cold enough, it hardens up. So
Huh.
I don't know if that's a deterrent for you or you prefer that, but I like it when it stays soft. and do not clip that.
we'll see what happens in post.
Everything stays in context here. Do not
Yeah.
clip
No,
that
this is
out.
all important stuff. This is all important stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to
so
know this
that's
if you're gonna try that.
Yeah.
You have to know what's happening.
Yep.
I want to let you know what to expect from
Yes,
something like this.
100%.
And if it doesn't happen that way, you're doing it wrong.
There it is. There it
Yeah.
is. The Pondering Peeps
Pretty
Draft
good.
movie theater snacks. Try it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure any of these options you'll love. And to just bring it on home, it's time. It's
It
time
is.
for what everybody looks forward to the most on the Rudimentary podcast.
The end?
Yes.
I can't wait for it to get over.
And what signifies the end better than the Your Playlist Sucks, You Can Borrow Ours segment? That's right, folks. This is the time of the podcast where we all pick a song to add to our Spotify and Apple Music playlist. Make sure to go out, take a listen, take a look, let us know in the comments as you find a song, if you like it, if you hate it, if you love somebody's picks over the others. But it's time. It's time again. And we're going to give Funkle, since this is his idea, we're going to let him decide who goes first to add to the playlist, my friend.
All right, Trav, I went with you first last time. Rude, you're
All
up,
right.
buddy.
All right. So I got a story with this.
Oh, nice.
All right. Okay. So
this story is called Bushwhacker.
So, the story is relatable to a lot today, and it's not the song that you think that I'm going to tell the story about. All right. So, I give credit here to the Facebook page called Song Stories Rewind. All right. Getting back to Deadpool and Wolverine, still relative, just about ready to cross that $1 billion mark.
Yeah.
I think I myself found the biggest marketed and moment of song in the film to be Madonna's Like a Prayer.
Yep,
it's
absolutely.
the one through there, and an absolutely epic version right at the end. With choir and everything, really well done. But I don't know if you've looked, you will not find Like a Prayer on the movie soundtrack. So arguably the biggest the music moment in the movie, you won't find it on the Deadpool soundtrack. Why, you ask?
Yes,
so,
why?
According to Song Stories Rewind Facebook page, Madonna wouldn't allow Deadpool and Wolverine to include Like a Prayer on the soundtrack. The soundtrack to Deadpool and Wolverine is out, and it's a chart hit on iTunes. But the Jukebox Collection hit songs is lacking the biggest song in the movie, Madonna's Like a Prayer. The song is a major piece of the movie. In their junket interviews, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman talked about how they persuaded Madonna to let them use it. Reynolds even said that Madonna gave them notes on how to use it. Now it turns out Madge said no to using Like a Prayer on the soundtrack of the album, which includes NSYNC, Aretha Franklin, the Goo Goo Dolls, and Huey Lewis and the News. The movie is so meta, they even included The Greatest by Hugh Jackman from his Greatest Showman album. It seems this fall, Madonna will release her own 35th anniversary edition of the Like a Prayer album and didn't want Deadpool and Wolverine to take away from that. She may have made a mistake, since the movie will introduce a song to a generation that might have bought that anniversary album as well. So the song I'm going to pick is a very little known song. I'd be surprised if both of you knew it. Jake might know, but maybe not. So the song comes from that 1989 release, Like a Prayer by Madonna, and it features a song called Love Song. And that song
I don't know.
is a duet between Madonna and Prince. So, yeah. So my pick for the week is Love Song by Madonna and Prince.
Dang. Good pick. Good story. Look at this guy, man. You have been doing some research.
That's just solid. That's solid.
Yeah. Well, Trav, you're up next. Good luck following that. It's like Chuck Berry and Jerry Lee Lewis.
Let me help you. From 1957.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So ironically, I'm going from an earlier time, and my song is one that I originally thought was performed by a young lady when I first heard the song.
Okay.
And I believe it was recorded in 55 and released in 56. So Andy, you weren't
Oh, oh,
Dude,
oh,
so close. So close.
um, the group when I first heard a song, the group song, not the song I'm picking, but that introduced me to the group, I thought it was a young lady singing the song. And so it pulled me in just because the harmonies, the doo-wop. This group is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Vocalist Hall of Fame. Uh, it's the group is Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. The song that I heard when I first got introduced to them was "Why Do Fools Fall in Love." Later made popular again by Diana Ross, and then there was a movie I think in the '90s of the same title. I think Angela Bassett was in it. But the song I'm picking is one called Paper Castles. It's a slower song, but again, just that simpler time. It will continue to be my sweet spot is going to be those 50s and 60s song, but early doo-wop. You can see them on the Alan Freed show. You can see there's a couple of performances. Of course, they're lip syncing. But the group, they were in Europe when their manager convinced Frankie Lyman to go solo. They were on a European tour when they broke up, so they basically had one album that they
Wow.
did. If you look into it, there was a lawsuit after he died between three women who claimed to be his wife, and they all had somewhat legitimate claims to being his wife. But the whole story of Frankie Lyman is just crazy. Died at 25, I think. Uh, but yeah, the song's beautiful. It showcases early harmonies and doo-wop, one of my favorite styles of music. So do yourself a favor, look for Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. Paper Castles is the song.
Good call. So a couple things. Have you had a pick that has happened or recorded since you've been born yet?
Not
You were
even
born in what year? What year were you born?
79. Not even close.
79.
Does
Not
it
one, right?
count? Does it count that my Chain Gang pick, the album wasn't released until 84? Does that count?
No, no. It
Okay,
doesn't.
well then yeah, not even close.
It was a
Not
live recording, right?
yes. And I
Yeah.
wasn't
So
alive.
so even more frozen in time.
Yes.
yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There's not even close. No.
Okay. That's fun. That's great.
Well, actually, technically, yes. The Jerry Lee Lewis song I did, he re-recorded it for the Great Balls of Fire movie. So, and that was
Re-recorded it.
yeah. So that's
Which
the version
version
that
did
I
which
picked.
is that the one if I look on the playlist?
Yep,
Yeah, that's a technicality, but re-recorded.
that's like
So
my
it was,
Frank Sinatra technicality from a couple episodes ago. Actor
yeah,
that was a musician.
Yep.
yeah.
It is from
What
the
happened with
soundtrack.
that technicality?
You know
No.
what? Whatever. Just
Okay. All right. So I got one knowing that guy up there, that fool, that he would probably like because it was done in 2022, but it sounds like it came from back in like 67 or 71, something like that.
you have my interest.
Now he's listening. It's called, you guys have never heard it. It's called Hey Hey Hey, and the band is called Hala, Hala. And yeah, it's real short. It's about maybe 2 minutes long. But it definitely has that feel of back in it's almost like them with Van Morrison. That's why I like it so much. Which they had song that just came out that was in a movie, and I was like, oh, that sounds like Van Morrison. So it's still relevant where they're putting that kind of stuff out there. And of course, GLORIA Gloria from
Mm,
Outsiders was always
yeah.
great. So it kind of feels like that garage band kind of feel, indie, and it's called Hey Hey Hey. by the Hollis.
All right. You will find
Sweet.
these on both playlists. Again, Apple Music and Spotify. You'll find those later on. As soon as the show ends, we'll post those. And it's been fun. This has been our quickest episode.
Speed round, baby.
It
Woo!
might have seemed like we had a
There they go.
design behind it. There might have been some structure to this one. Don't get used to it, folks.
No.
As always, thank you everybody for listening to the podcast. We're going to go off with our final thoughts here. My final thoughts are it's just fun to do. As you can see, we had fun. We had a lot of laughs, whether it takes an hour and 45 minutes to get through the podcast or 55 minutes and counting. We have fun. Andy, I think I may know, but you never know. Let's go over to you.
You never know.
For final thoughts.
Yep. This week, the words of advice are put your shopping carts away. Snakes.
Yeah. That's good. I recently heard a phrase that I'm really digging, and I kind of got to look for it, even though I don't have the proper equipment for it, and that's BDE, which is Big Dad Energy.
Oh,
So
Okay.
that's how I've been living my life. Just been accepting that I'm a middle-aged man that most people are going to say Happy Father's Day to you, even though I have no children.
embrace it.
I'm embracing it. I'm just like, hey, thanks, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate
If
it.
there's discounts to be had, take advantage. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So BDE, Big Dad
Yep.
Energy over here.
BDE.
Awesome.
I heard it and I was looking for the button.
Yeah. That's why I gave you 7 seconds.
Yep. Very nice.
No delay needed,
Big
folks.
Dad
That's right.
energy.
As you can see, we have fun. We are on YouTube, the Rudimentary podcast channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe, the bell notifications for when we put out new episodes. We've got a designer of thumbnails for the YouTube. It actually, again, we're taking steps to actually look like we know what we're doing. We are on Instagram already. Facebook, we're on now. And soon, the TikTok machine. That's right. We're having fun doing this.
OTTOGO. It's gonna be coming, baby. Watch out now.
Yes, we were promised that last
BD right
episode.
here.
He promised. He said he will put that. That'll be our first video on the TikTok machine. Again, for all of us here, for Funkel, for Andy, I'm Travis. We're happy to be here, and we'll see you next week for Rudimentary episode 10. That's right, folks. Episode 10. Have a great night.
Oh, we should aim